so we have a bit of time to shit talk. Yeah, I'm gonna go grab a snack or something. Because I'm making toast. We said we were supposed to be a bit chaotic, right? All part of the fun. Exactly. I'll be right back.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another TOGA Motorsport stream. We are here tonight at Monza for another round of the crazy multi-class championship.
Whoop whoop.
And there he is. Before I've even had a chance to introduce him, I'd like to welcome Chez into the commentary box alongside me this evening as we come here into the heart of Italy, ready for what I'm sure is going to be a crazy race at a crazy track in what so far has proven to be a relatively crazy championship as well. Chez, are you looking forward to this one this evening?
100%. Monza is always going to be one of the highlights of the calendar.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we all know that Monza is a crazy track, both in real life and in the sim world. So it's going to be interesting to see how people do managing not just the aspect of it being Monza, but also the aspect of it obviously being a multi-class championship, as is in the title. I think we're going to see a lot of chaos throughout the race this evening, as colliding strategies and possibly colliding cars make for plenty of action on track, as things always go. Welcome along everyone who is joining us at the moment, both on YouTube and on Twitch. Thank you everyone for being here alongside us this evening as we get ready for round 5 of this brilliant championship here at TOGA Motorsports. You're about to get blasted by Twitch noise. I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do about it until I can mute the tab.
Professional? Why would we be?
I am always professional.
100%.
There we go. Yeah, so welcome to everyone across both platforms who is here with us this evening. Obviously, recently we have branched out, started trying to open up a little bit of a marketability on Twitch as well, as we look to grow here at TOGA Motorsports over the coming year after the massive success that I think we can all agree 2023 was for TOGA Motorsport. We are looking to continue with that as we move through the rest of this calendar year as well. Looking at the... wow, it is hot out on track right now. I don't know if you can see, but we have got 29 degrees air temperature and 36 degrees track temperature. That is rather extreme, as we see Samuel Braxton from the Big Brain Racing team going deep at turn 1, possibly getting out of people's way and then having to stay there until all the traffic is finished going by. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's slightly underwhelming. Only 7 GT4 cars here this evening.
Bit unfortunate.
Does mean that we're going to have 21 GT3 cars though, which is going to make for plenty of chaos whilst they're trying to get past all of those GT4 cars even. GT2 cars here would be mental.
Jesus, yeah.
With all the straights, that'd be...
You would easily see the GT2 cars smoking everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be completely mental.
But of course, this is one of those kind of tracks where basically there's only one line, and if you're not on it, then you will not be fast.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
The GT4s will have quite a big of a challenge to try to stay out of the way of the GT3 cars while still maintaining competitive in their own class.
I'm just putting the links for the live streams into the TOGA Motorsports Discord channel, which you will be able to find in our bio, both on Twitch and on YouTube. We have links to the TOGA Motorsports Discord if you're interested in taking part in any of the crazy racing that you see here. As Anders Amundsen goes to the top of the field, I'm not sure how much by oh god, almost 4/10 of a second.
Yeah.
Almost 4/10 of a second. That is mega pace being displayed very early on from Anders Amundsen.
We can also see our very own Dexter Cray in 5th.
Yeah, absolutely. The Ferrari is a relatively strong car around here. It's a good platform to work off of for sure at this track. So it doesn't surprise me that that he's having a good run through there tonight. Of course, it will not be long now before we move into qualifying. It is a split qualifying here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be half an hour long. It's going to be half an hour long, but it is going to be and it is split between the GT4s and the GT3s. They have separate qualifying, essentially separate qualifying sessions. But running one after the other, so it's only the GT4s on track for the first.
Separated.
Yeah, for the first 14-15 minutes, it's only GT4 cars on track. Then after that, it is only GT3 cars on track, so that we don't have any issues with people tripping over each other and having collisions whilst they're trying to set their lap times, because obviously that would not be ideal. Let's have a look. Have we got anyone massively improving? You're a sim
Are we running
chick.
BOP today?
Say again?
Are we running BOP today?
Yes, but it is from pit skill this afternoon. Well, this evening. Maybe this afternoon. Depends where you're watching us from this evening.
Evening here.
For us, it is the evening, absolutely. But for other people, possibly, it is more the afternoon.
It's fun to see a big, diverse grid here. A lot of different car brands. We see a Honda, we have 2 BMWs, we have a Lexus as well.
Yeah, that is.
So it's gonna be.
The Lexus is, I believe, Julius Emil, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
I've got to find it first.
Driving that.
Where's he?
Yeah, P6.
P6.
He's driving that Lexus faster than I even thought would be possible.
That is very impressive. That thing, I reckon it's got to have a pretty healthy BOP from pit skill.
It has 37 kilos removed from its weight.
Oh yeah, that is only going to help at this track. That is only going to help. For a man who said that he didn't think he was going to be... Manny said he didn't think he was going to be particularly quick around here, seeing that he's not done much, if any, practice. That is very, very impressive for him to be in P6 as it stands. Obviously, we've still got to remember this is only a practice session, and there is still qualifying and then the actual race to go. So pray for the Lexus, says Julius. We will be praying for the Lexus, my friend. Don't you worry about that. We will be praying for the Lexus.
We can see that the Honda NSX of our very own Stevens is running a BOP with 40 kilos removed from the weight. That is massive.
Yeah, that'll be huge for him in terms of performance, with 40 kilograms taken out of the car.
On reverse side of things, we can see that the McLaren is currently the only GT3 car with added weight.
I mean, that's understandable.
Definitely.
This is a straight line track, and what's the McLaren good at? It's very good at straight lines. Straight lines and high speed corners, which is pretty much the vast majority of this track.
There's a reason I've seen it do 212, 213s at Spa.
Yeah,
Loves
absolutely.
the fast corners and long straights.
Yeah, Yeah, George Stevens not quite having the run of things at the moment. Just gets a little bit out of shape at the second chicane, which does have a name that I can never remember. All the chicanes here have names and I can never remember what any of them are. So,
one of them is the Ascari, I know that much.
Ascari is the fast one coming
one.
onto the back straight. Before the Parabolica is the Ascari.
Yeah.
But the Parabolica is not called the Parabolica anymore, is it? They've changed the name of that as well.
It will always be the Parabolica in my heart.
We've got Dario and Davide Mandalesi in chat this evening. Dario, if you don't know, is Davide Mandalesi's brother and race engineer, who is, from what I can tell, Dario is very, very knowledgeable on everything to do with ACC. He's one of those wizards that knows what to do with Motec data and all the bumpers and the spring rates and stuff, which just makes my brain hurt. So I'm quite, I'm always rather amazed. I'm always rather amazed by the guys who are able to understand all of the spring rate stuff, because that just makes my brain hurt. Possibly because I'm a bit thick, but yeah, it is very impressive.
I understand fuel load and tire pressures. That's about it.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm pretty much with you there.
Sometimes downforce as well, depending on the car, the track, and the game.
There we go. I know most of the names. I just couldn't remember in which order they came.
Yeah, in all honesty, I had to look up a track map here. But seeing that every single corner is just called Variante doesn't really help me.
The first one is Variante del Rettifilio. The second one is Variante della Roggia. The second chicane. Then you've got the two Lesmos. Lesmo 1, Lesmo 2.
Yeah.
Then the Ascari chicane, then Parabolica. Gosh. It's that easy, chat. It is that easy.
No, there's only something like 4, 5 places to remember.
No, there's not that many. I always forget how few corners there are.
Well, to be fair, I think most people, or at least most maps, they see the entry and exit of the chicanes as 2 separate corners. And that does bring the tally up a bit. Because according to the track map that I'm looking at right now, Monza has a total of 11 corners, but it feels like 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 6.
Who is it that's going on track? There it is. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to get going for GT4 qualifying. They are allowed out on track until there is 16 minutes left in the session. If they have not started a new flying lap by the time that the 16-minute mark is gone, then they are not allowed to start a new one. They have to come back into the pit lane after they finish their current lap. And they have to pull over and return to the garage. They are not allowed to start a new flying lap after there is 16 minutes left on the clock. Then there is a minute where it will just be for GT4s to get over the line and complete their final laps before, at the 15-minute mark, the GT3 cars are let loose onto track as well. It means that there's no chance of the GT3s catching up to the GT4 cars before everything goes wrong. Brilliant. I somehow switched to... How did I switch to the blimmin' intro? Oh well, whatever. I did, but it's back now. I was just
about to mention it.
Yeah, Julius pinged me. I expect he said it in the YouTube chat as well, I just don't have it open.
Highlight of the race, intro playing over the commentary.
Thanks, Davide.
Davide.
Sorry, guys.
A 37
I have
degrees track
very
temperature
large
here.
brain. 37 degrees. That's so unnecessary, man. I don't know what it is with Hayden and setting up these servers. It's always just ridiculously hot. I feel like
or
unless you
as was in the Rookie Wednesdays yesterday, extremely cold.
I feel like unless you put the ambient temperature at like 11 degrees, it's always hot. Yeah, Monza's always going to be hot because Italy. But yeah, it is.
Last night in the Rookie Wednesdays at Nürburgring, we had a track temperature of I think 19 degrees. A bit too cold for my liking. My tires were absolutely freezing to death.
So Michael De Gore is the first man to start a flying lap in the GT4 class. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of pace he can bring to the table. We're expecting these GT4 cars to fall probably just within that 2-minute barrier is where I'd expect them to be. Probably not by loads, but just within. God, Michael De Gore goes well wide there, but I think his lap time stays valid. Indeed it does. God, it's warm out there. Ollie, remember this Lexus, no setup, never raced Monza, first time VR racing an hour ago. Julius, you're really just putting yourself through it today, huh?
Yeah, he's stacking the odds against himself here. Good thing it seems like he found 210s with the ballast. That is always promising. Oh, Davide, I know the feeling of crashing in VR. It's exhilarating, but scary as all things ever could be.
So, it looks like, surprise, surprise, Callum Jones has gone to the top of the... Holy moly. Callum Jones has gone to the... Oh my... The Ginetta is fast. Ridiculously fast. The Ginetta of Callum Jones has gone to the top of the timing sheets by 1.5 seconds. With a 1 minute 56.1, that's nuts. That is nuts.
Something out of that car that I did not know existed.
I can't even begin to describe kind of just how mental that is.
He is currently less than 2 seconds off my best GT3 lap here. To put that into perspective.
Yeah, it's crazy just how quick so many of these
GT4 drivers are. Callum Jones pulls over. Clearly that lap not going how he was expecting it to. So we'll move on to Graham Potter. He's the next man up.
Sal Mass is up over a second on his previous lap time
No,
here.
we've got 7 GT4 cars, 8 GT4 cars with us, but we've got one guy who hasn't come out of the pit lane yet. Billy Stewart hasn't come out of the pit lane. I think he's kind of just resigned to starting at the back, but there are 8 of them. 8 of them here tonight for sure.
But the first corner, as we have here, and the mix of car classes, I don't think starting from the pits is all too bad, actually.
He won't be starting from the pits. He'll be starting from the back of the grid.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Hayden just casually name dropping the TOGA team.
Yep. I think he wants you to talk about it.
He probably does. He probably does. Actually, that's a point, Davide. You need to start running. You need to start running a TOGA livery, my guy. I'm joking. It's fine. You can run your VM livery for the rest of this one, but after that, it's time for the old Tough for the old TOGA livery to get whipped out, I would expect. Yeah, we have got quite a few of the drivers in here are racing for the upcoming TOGA esports venture. I'm going to gabble about that for a bit whilst these guys rag their cars around the track for a little while longer. So Callum Jones, who by the way currently sits 1.3 seconds ahead of P2 in the GT4 class, was the first man to sign up for the new TOGA esports venture, which is really, really exciting. He's blisteringly fast in pretty much everything, especially when you put that man in a Bentley, which I absolutely love because I love the Bentley. So I'm absolutely here for that. I'm absolutely here for the fact that he likes the Bentley because I like the Bentley. So I'm fully supporting him in that, without
Bentley
doubt.
all the way.
We've also got, as I've just talked about them, Davide Mandalesi, who currently races for with the VM Technology sponsorship, which comes from his brother Dario Mandalesi, and those guys are going to be bringing their expertise in setups to the TOGA esports team, and are going to be in the races that Davide partakes in. They will be running a special TOGA powered by VM Technology livery on whatever car they run for the event. I say whatever car as if they're not going to be running the BMW M4 for every single event that they partake in. But with the backing of Dario and Davide, I believe that they'll be able to extract things out of that BMW M4 that we never really knew were possible. But as we can see here with the beautiful VM Technology livery, I'm sure that the TOGA colours are going to go beautifully with this current blue, white and black scheme. In fact, I expect we'll be able to get the TOGA scheme very nicely paired up with that one. Of course, we also have myself. I will be partaking in a couple of the races when I feel like it, starting with hopefully some endurance races coming up over the next few months. After this introduction, I'll be kind of nervous for the race. Yeah, Davide, to be quite honest, mate, as long as you're not racing under the TOGA badge, I don't really care. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. No, it's always nice to see someone that I've put my confidence in come home with a good result. So it'll be nice to see. It'll be nice to see you. I'm sure bring home a good result for the race. Julius says I can join the TOGA team if Hayden gets me Coach Dave. What a nice little segue you've just put in for me there, Julius. So
Speaking of Coach Dave.
Speaking of Coach Dave, we are now, first of all, obviously a massive shout out to the guys at SimGrid who are really the guys that have made this all possible, both in terms of TOGA for us and of course for the massive growth that we've had over the last year to date. So we've recently achieved the silver partnership with SimGrid due to us being one of the, well, we are currently the second largest organisation on SimGrid, and we are the largest PC only organisation on SimGrid, which is absolutely brilliant. Things that we, never could have dreamed of at the start of 2023 or even partway through 2023. And they've allowed us to become a silver partner with them. We get all sorts of benefits from that, and we have also become we've also got a partnership running with Coach Dave and the new Coach Dave Delta system in partnership with SimGrid. Coach Dave have set up a new Coach Dave Delta. It is a tool that racers can use to analyse their lap times and analyse their setups and see where they can gain time in any track condition, any track temperature, any air temperature. And they can really dig in deep and analyse where they can improve all around the track. They are sponsoring.
Adding to that.
Go on.
Adding to that, thanks to Coach Dave Delta, I actually gained close to 4 seconds of my best time at Nürburgring in just like 4 or 5 laps.
Yeah, absolutely. The Coach Dave Delta is an absolutely brilliant piece of kit. I can't recommend it enough, and neither can anyone else who's used it in the TOGA Discord server. and we are more than delighted to bring the Coach Dave sponsorship on board for the whole of 2024 as the title sponsor for the Rookie Wednesday sponsored by Coach Dave Delta Championship. Our premier championship for TOGA Motorsports, and one that really got the ball rolling in terms of growth, as we invited rookies to racing, those with less experience, maybe less pace, to come and join us on track for a series of races where they can develop their skills against other people rather than against AI. It has been probably our most successful series in TOGA Motorsport, and one that I don't think will ever stop running, because every single time we open up sign-ups they fill up within about 2 weeks. and we're stuck with what to do in terms
of 2 weeks sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely, it just fills up so quickly. But yeah, I think that's everything we need to cover. I've talked about the sponsors, talked about the esports team. Yes, hit the like button and follow if you're not already. And subscribe, yes. Do all those good things.
Do all the things that we should probably remind you to do every 5 minutes or so for the algorithm to actually like us.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, anyway, now that we've done all of that for like 8 minutes, let's have a look at what's actually going on in qualifying, shall we? So, Graham Potter has managed to find himself like 0.4 of a second and has gone P2. He was P2 before, but he is now far closer. He's 0.8 behind rather than 1.2 seconds behind. So that is a big step forwards from him, without a doubt.
Still a massive qualification run here for Callum Jones. Almost a second.
Yeah, he is just
down
massively
to
ahead.
Graham Potter here. Yeah.
And you can't deny it is purely on pace. He is just unstoppable, pretty much no matter what car you put him in. He is very, very quick.
Oof. That was a big off for Lucas Licton. Coming through Curva Grande, that's a weird place to go off. Or was it through Curva Grande, or was it into... No, I think it was it into the Parabolica? I've rewound
the
too far.
GT3 cars are now leaving the pits for their turn at qualification here.
Yeah, absolutely. They will have just peeled out of the pit lane. So that means that this is now the set grid for the GT4 cars. So Callum Jones takes pole with a 56.057. Graham Potter is P2 in the 91 Mercedes with a 157.002. 0.945 off the pace there. Eric Berg is in third with a 157.5. Then in fourth is Lucas Hanak with a 157.577. Not far off the pace of Eric Berg in P3. I think this is going to be where the battle sits this evening in the GT4s is for that final podium spot. Lucas Licton is 1.7 off the pace with a 157.8, followed by Billy Stewart with a 157.9. And we got Michael de Gore in the Aston GT4, 158.1 for him, 2 seconds off the pace. And then Sal Mass in the Audi GT4 is almost 4 seconds off the pace, 3.5 seconds off the pace with a 159.752. Still inside that 2-minute window though, which is not hanging about for a GT4 car around here. I'm trying to work out who is leading the GT4 field. I think it's Fran Garcia. Indeed it is.
Yes, he is currently approaching the parabolic and will start his first flying lap. Or first hot lap, I mean, sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's, you know, Fran Garcia is one of the guys that has been here at TOGA for quite a while. He's been taking part in multiple championships since the since last year, And he is definitely not slow. He is a quick guy, you know. He doesn't hang about when he is racing.
And yellow flags already. I think this is people queuing up at the Parabolica to get a lap started. Indeed it is. People queuing up coming into the Parabolica. And the question is going to be, how much do people think the tow is worth here? Do they think the tow is worth maybe having some dirty air as they start their laps? And we've had a car round.
Seen way too much Formula 1 here.
Oh, Julius has spun it at turn 1.
What happened? Oh no. We know what happened last time in Formula 1 as people were trying to wait for a clean run through the final corner at Monza.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think people probably could have left a little bit more gap here. Dexter Cray is the last man to start his lap in his Gwent Police 999 livery. And Fran Garcia hasn't even gotten to the Ascari chicane yet, so there could have been a bit more of a gap left between those cars. But obviously you don't want to risk your tyre temperatures and tyre pressures by hanging around for too long coming towards that final corner. So it's going to be Fran Garcia to lay down the marker stick for everyone else. He's going to be the first man to draw the line in the sand, as they say, for how fast people are going to be looking to go in this session. And of course this won't be the fastest lap we see, because we will get faster as the fuel loads come out, but it's not going to be a slow one to start with. A 1:47.8 to open the times. That is not hanging about at all. Samuel Braxton goes P2, just 0.2 off. Brian Ritz for the BRT Belgium Racing Team goes P4, 1.2 seconds off. Anders Amundsen in the other Big Brain Racing McLaren goes P2, just 1/10 off. And Airy Fasttail goes P4, 7/10 off. Samuel Braxton has gone straight on at turn 1.
Yeah, let's hope that he stays there and let everybody pass.
Let's have a little look. He's just not got it right. He's dove out of that very quickly. Got to turn 1, went to turn into the apex, and has just pulled out of it. He got to the apex at turn 1 and then drove straight into the runoff. It's interesting. And thankfully, as much as it is McLaren's in the top 3, after that there's actually a bit of variation. Joros Simchik is in P4 with Airy Fasttail in P5 in the Aston Martin, followed by Stanislav Goris in the number 27 Lamborghini Evo 2 in P6, before there's more McLarens. Who's that?
Dexter puts himself in P4.
Massive from Dexter Cray,
They 148.4.
Yeah, no one yet has beaten Fran Garcia's kind of line in the sand, but there are drivers that are massively improving. Namely, Oscar Miazza from the ATS Corsa Esport team. The number 25 McLaren is currently up by about 0.5, which at the moment, this lap would put him P5. It'll be interesting to see if he can gain any more time out of the Curva Parabolica to maybe put himself a little bit further up, but also Joros Simchik is massively gaining. He's 0.4 up at the moment. This lap could put him P3 and disturb those top 3 in the disturb that top 3. In fact, I think Oscar Miazza is going to go P4 for now, but I think Joros Simchik is going to cross the line and be ahead of him. Joros Simchik, could he possibly go? He's not going to quite get P2, I don't think. He doesn't quite get P3 either.
Peter Romeo is improving here, 6/10.
6/10, that's massive for him. 6/10 is huge. That would take him to P5, P6 as it stands. If he can get to kind of 0.8 out of here, which it looks like he might, this could be a run for P. I think it's going to be P6. I don't think he'll quite get to Oscar Miazza in P5. He does just. P5 for the Aston Martin man from No Name Motorsport. That's vastly impressive. Joros Simchik, by the way, improving again 0.2 seconds. So is Anders Amundsen, and so is Fran Garcia, all improving at the moment.
Amundsen is really looking for that first place here. He's up 0.5 second on his best lap here.
Well, yeah, I mean, having taken multiple wins on the trot at the start of this season, he wants to keep that run of form as it is for now. Airy Fasttail improving by 0.4 seconds, and currently the top 10 covered by 0.8 seconds. This is crazy. as it always is here at TOGA, so I'm not surprised. I shouldn't sound surprised.
You're trying to recruit half of these guys. Don't be surprised they're fast.
I'm not. So here we go. Fran Garcia is going to cross the line and move the line in the sand into a 47.6. Not that it matters, because Anders Amundsen is coming out the final corner and he's like 6/10 up. So he's going to move the line in the sand to a 47.3, maybe a 47.2. No, 47.3 it is. So he moves the line in the sand now. Samuel Braxton is starting a lap. Jonas Simchik is finishing a lap. He's going to come to the line and go P3 for now, disturbing those McLarens.
Mandelace is up 5/10.
Eri Fastel has gone
snapper.
P6 as of right now. Have we got anyone massively improving? Bruno Battiglin massively improves, goes P8 in the number 403 Pigeon racing car, the driver from Brazil. Dexter Cray also improving, only by about 0.2 of a second at the moment, though I expect there is more to come from that Ferrari before the end of this session. We do still have 6 minutes on the clock, so stuff is still very fluid. Here comes Davide Mandalesi improving by 0.6 of a second. This lap is going to put him P10 as of right now. But I
Dries
expect there's
Verholz
more.
is up 0.3 of his time. It was a bit more earlier, but he seems to have lost a bit of time in one of the chicanes.
Dexter Cray goes to P5. He now goes back to the garage. This is all tactical to get new tyres and take some of the fuel out so that these final laps can be full pace. I'm trying to look at who's kind of coming to the line. So Samuel Braxton, if he has a good run through the final corner here, could find some time, but he's not going to find any positions. Alex Vandenbroek has gone straight on at Variante della Roggia. Peter Romeo is finding time at the moment. Brian Ritz was finding time, but then he had an issue coming out of Lesmo 2. He's had a massive spin, and he's back to the garage. We've got a couple of drivers down towards the tail end of the field that are finding massive chunks of time. I'm talking kind of 4, 5, 6 tenths finding chunks of time. Yoda Simchik crosses the line. He can't get any closer back into the pit lane to come straight back out again, as they pretty much all are at the moment, to start another lap. Elias Fernando is on a lap as well. He's finding time but loses it through the exit of the Variante della Roggia chicane.
Harry Howard has not left the pits yet. I wonder if it's a bit of a strategy to start further back, or if he simply doesn't feel like qualifying, maybe.
We've had another GT4 join the session as well, of Andreas Moberg in the Alpine, the only Alpine on the GT4 grid. So that takes our total to 30 cars for tonight.
Whoa!
Let's have a look. It's all about the marginal gains now. We're not going to see many people improving by those kind of big numbers. It's going to be about who can find a tenth there, who can find a tenth and a half. You know, it's not going to be those big. Here comes, you know, Davide Mandalesi improving by 6 tenths. That's not going to happen now. Now it is all about pushing drivers.
Verholz is currently up almost half a second.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Dries Verholst is absolutely just misproving my point. But a lot of the drivers would have put in their kind of 95% lap, and now they're into these final 4 minutes, it's going to be looking at pushing up to that kind of 98-99% push lap to try and get as much out of the car as possible. Dries Verholst is going to make a massive jump here up to P12, only 1/100th off of Davide Mandalesi. That is very close at the top there. Anders Amundsen, by the way, is improving again by almost another 0.2 of a second. And Elias Fernando, I've managed to miss that, has gone P10 overall, almost exactly 1 second off of the leading pace at the moment. Although, as I say that, Anders Amundsen is improving by 2.5 tenths. Let's see, can he find more on the exit of the Parabolica? You know he can. 0.3 of a second is going to be an improvement. He's trying to break into the 1 minute 46s. He's not quite going to get there. However, he does still have probably 2 laps in the tank. And that's just, God, That's just insane from Anders Amundsen, man. Insane.
That Lexus that Julius is currently driving, that is one mean beast. It's just full of basically raw power.
Yeah, absolutely. The Lexus is a pretty crazy car by all accounts. Looking, we are seeing some bigger improvements coming in at the moment. Brian Ritz in the Belgium Racing Team number 6 car is currently up by almost 0.6 of a second. Bruno Battiglin is up by 0.3 of a second out of the first corner. If he can keep that kind of improvement up, that's going to be big for him. Samuel Braxton is about to close the gap to the front. He's about to go P3. In fact, he is about to go P3. Indeed he does. He knocks Yoro Simchik off of that P3, and it's back to the 3 McLarens occupying the front 3 rows of the grid. Dexter Cray improves his time to put a little bit of a gap between him and Oscar Miazza, who has just not got the Variante Della Roggio there. He's just not got that quite right. Lost a lot of time now, 0.4 down.
Brian Ritz goes up to P14 with a 148.6.
Yeah, big lap time from him, big lap time. Not long left now, 1 minute 25 of qualifying. So anyone who's currently in the first sector won't make it for another lap. This is going to be their final lap if they are in that first sector at the moment. Yoro Simchik improving out of the first corner, so is Dexter Cray as he comes through Lesmo 2. Peter Romeo also improving as he comes down to the final corner, improving enough that he could possibly briefly go P5 here in the V8 Vantage. Let's have a look. Out of the final corner, it's a better run than he's had before. I think this is going to be P5. Indeed it is P5 as it stands. However, Dexter Cray is improving by a relatively large number as well, 3.5 of improvement for him.
Julius is up 800 of a second here, it seems like, or 0.8 of a second.
Stephen Fays from the Belgium Racing Team is coming through the final corner with almost a 0.5 gain from him as well. This could be big for him. This will put him up into the top 10 just. Indeed it does put him into the top 10, just knocking Elias Fernando off of his perch for now.
The entirety of the top 7 here are currently gaining.
Dexter Cray has crossed the line and gone ahead of Yoro Simchik, who is currently coming down towards the final corner but isn't going to make any time. Fran Garcia is going to cross the line and go to within 0.2 of Anders Amundsen, who is going to get into the 146s. I would not be surprised if we see a 146 here from Anders Amundsen. He's only got 1 corner left to go. It's the Curva Parabolica. He's found time through this corner every single lap so far, and again he finds time, 2.5 at the apex of that corner. He carried in a little bit more speed to guarantee that he would get there, and it is going to be a 146.865 from Anders Amundsen. That is just insane lap time. Insane. He is so good. So where are we looking now? The next car to cross the line is going to be Oscar Miazza, who was about 2.5 up. Can he find some of that time back? At the moment he's not going to find a position.
And Dries Verholst will be the final car to cross the finish line here. He is improving almost half a second.
Next up is the number 75 car, Samuel Braxton. He's improving by about 2.5 and could knock Yoro Simchik off of that P3 position to go back to having 3 McLarens in the occupying the top 3 spots on the grid. It wouldn't surprise me at all if we see that, and indeed we're going to, because unless he randomly jams on the brakes now, he's not going to lose any time. And indeed it is back to the 3 McLarens on the front row of the grid. Dexter Cray doesn't manage to find any time out of the Curva Parabolica that time and is going to stay P5. And the final man to cross the line is going to be Dries Verholst, who is going to put himself very tastily, I think, up to P6 ahead of Peter Romeo on his final lap. Indeed he does. What a brilliant final lap from Dries Verholst there in the 720S GT3 Evo. Right, well, I'm going to try and do a bit of a summary here. So obviously in P1 is Anders Amundsen with a 146.865, followed by Fran Garcia in the 223 McLaren, followed by Samuel Braxton in the number 75 McLaren. Those guys covered by about 6.5 tenths. Then we've got the two Ferraris of Jura Simchik and Dexter Cray, the 221 and the number 1 Ferrari respectively. Then Dries Verhulst, the man who improved by 6.5 tenths on the final lap to go a second off and in P6 in the number 4 McLaren. Followed by Peter Romeo, the first of the two Aston Martins we got on the grid tonight. The number 74 is in P7. Then Oscar Miazza in the number 25 McLaren, followed by Arie Fastel in the other Aston Martin, the number 17 machine, in P9. Then Bruno Bataclan, the first of the BMWs, the 403, the Brazilian driver, lines up in P10. Followed by the first of the Belgium racing team men, Stephen Fays lines up in P11 with Elias Fernando, the number 23 McLaren, in P12. Possibly a slightly disappointing qualifying session for him, maybe a little bit further down the grid than he would have expected. He's followed by Stanislaw Goris in P13 in one of two Lamborghinis here tonight, the number 27, and then Davide Mandalesi, the VM Technology driver, is the second BMW, the number 71, in P14. Alex Vandenbroek follows him in the 226 Lamborghini, with Brian Ritz in the number 6 Ferrari, one of the Belgium racing team drivers, lining up there in P16. We've then got Adriansen in the number 69 Aston Martin, another of the Belgium racing team drivers there, lining up in P17 as I said. And then we've got Jules Jamson lining up in the 999 Lexus, the only Lexus on the grid tonight, in P18. Followed by George Stevens in the only Honda, the number 100 machine, lining up in P19. And then Calvin van der Spy in the 666 Porsche lines up P20. That is the last of the GT3s, apart from one who did not qualify. Moving into the GT4 field now, Callum Jones lines up on pole, about a second clear of Graham Potter, who is lining up in P2, the 48 and the 91 respectively, taking the top two spots there. Then is Eric Berg in the number 7 McLaren, lining up in P3 in the GT4 field, followed by Lucas Hanak in the number 78 Porsche. We've then got Lucas Lichten in the number 77 McLaren, the second of those two cars in the GT4 field tonight. And then the second Ginetta of Billy Stewart, the 355 car, lines up in oh god, I can't remember, I've completely lost count of where I am. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. P6 in the GT4 field tonight. Then we've got Michael de Gora in the number 9 Aston Martin. He was momentarily the only Aston Martin GT4 we had on the field tonight until Harry Howard joined. However, he... no, he's in a GT3 car. I'm just completely lying to everyone. But Michael de Gore lines up in the number 9 Aston Martin in P7, overall in the GT4 class. And then Salmas in the 202 Audi lines up P8 in the GT4 class. That's everyone. And then at the tail of the grid is Harry Howard in the V8 Vantage Aston Martin. The number 24 car rounds out our 29 car grid for tonight. I don't think that was too bad. I said words very quickly.
Yeah, lots of word that needed to be worded. We're looking forward to an hour of heavy racing here.
Yeah, 50 minutes on the clock. We do have a pit window. It's mandatory to change both fuel and it's mandatory to change both the fuel level and the tyres in this championship. Here we go for the formation lap. Should hopefully be a relatively brief formation lap compared to some others due to the lack of corners. Although Anders Amundsen is just completely disproving me there by going like 65 kilometers an hour.
Yep.
Is he in the chat listening to me?
I bet
rush. No, you're right. We're not in any rush.
I mean, yeah, exactly. We have all night. Okay, maybe not all night, so please don't
Yeah, definitely not.
do
all
any
night.
shenanigans. How are these situations looking for red flags?
Oh, I didn't really want to have to talk about red flags because I hope that the less we talk about them, the less likely they were to happen. So there is a chance,
Fair
everyone,
enough.
that there might be a red flag in this
Fingers
session.
crossed that there isn't.
Fingers crossed that there isn't, absolutely. But there is a chance that there will be. Basically, it just means that if we have more than a God, I can't even remember how many it is. If we have more than a fifth of the field off at once, I think it is. So out of almost 30 cars, if we have more than 6 off the track at once in Sector 1, then there would be a red flag. Once all the cars have gotten through Sector 1 and Sector 2, the chance of a red flag goes away, and we only have the availability for one for each race. So if you have a crash, if you have a crash the first time and there's a red flag, and then you go barreling into someone and there's loads of people that go off track again, then it just stays. That's just how it is, and you've just got to deal with it, unfortunately. We try and make it so that people learn from the first red flag what not to do, and then don't replicate it for the second restart, ideally. So here we go, just about to round the final corner. They are now forming up in their 2-wide formation. As we should be getting ready to go racing in just a short few seconds. I shall keep my eyes towards the front of the field, try and keep you up to date with everything that's happening here.
I will head myself down to the GT4s then.
Here we go to the start zone. They're about to cross the start-finish line. It's that one there. And we are green. Here we go. The time goes out. And we are away here. A little bit of lag for me, but it looks like Fran Garcia has managed to get the better reaction to the lights going out. Indeed he has. He's going to move past Anders Amundsen for now into the lead. However, there is turn 1 coming up, and Anders Amundsen is going to be on the inside line. So far, everyone relatively sensible. Lots of 3 wide. That is not what you want to see. And we've got one person round at the first corner. Cars off track, a little bit of shunting going on. I don't think... Oh no, we might see
I think there's going to be a red
Cool,
flag here.
there is lots going on here. I'm trying to keep up with everything that's going on. We've got... As I think Andreas Moberg has just been hit by a GT3 that was going past him, possibly. 2 cars off here. Billy Stewart as well. But I don't think there are enough cars involved for it to be called there. Indeed there wasn't. We are going to keep going. We have not had a red flag called. We are now out of Sector 1. There's more yellow flags down towards the back of the grid as Kinloch van der Spy gets turned around. I think Oscar Miazza was probably involved in that as well, as he's now back amongst the GT4 field. Lucas Hannock looking to the inside of Michael de Gore, just gives him a little bit of a shoulder check there as he comes past. But yeah, Fran Garcia has gone to the front of the field. Behind him is a long old train of cars all the way down to Goris in P8. As always, plenty going on the first lap here in the Multiclass Championship. Is always a little bit hectic as Fran Garcia, Dexter Craze managed to get past Dries Verhulst back up again, and oh my days, why do I see rain at 10 minutes on my weather radar?
Yeah, I see it as well.
It's only light rain at 10 minutes and then it's back to clouds again at 30 minutes. Will it be enough for people to need to come into the pit lane. We'll wait and see. Davide Mandalesi up to P12 now in that VM technology car. As Christian Adrianson also moves past Harry Howard in the number 24 car. He has made a relatively roaring start to the race after being dead last on the grid. Kinloch van der Spy trying to make his way back through the field as well in the 666 Porsche GT3 car. He's not going to have too much trouble carving back through the field, I wouldn't expect, as Samuel Braxton has been dropped by Fran Garcia and Anders Amundsen.
They are now 1.1 seconds ahead of Samuel Braxton.
Yeah, Callum Jones is still, and quite unsurprisingly, given the pace of this Jannetta here, leading the GT4 field.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Kinloch van der Spy is rapidly approaching and will try to find his way through, being that he's a GT3 driver.
Yeah, Callum Jones leading at the moment by 1.7 seconds.
Of course, we'll wait and see how that changes as Kinloch van der Spy gets passed on the straight. And I think he'll probably...
The closing speed difference between a GT3 and a GT4 is massive, especially at a track like this.
I don't know if he's going to get...
He's gonna get it in the corner, I think.
Callum Jones before the corner. He might go for under braking. He does go... There's the rain. The rain's here.
Here comes the rain.
Drivers immediately turning on...
Plus rain in 10 minutes as well.
Windshield wipers plus rain now in 10 minutes. This could be crazy. Peter Romeo already. Oh, it's chaos down at turn 1. Chaos down at turn 1. The rain has hit immediately and we've got multiple cars off down at turn 1. Lots of cars off down at turn 1. People just don't know where to brake. The greasiness has hit immediately. No one knows what to do. No one's been able to come into the pit lane. So now these drivers are having to tiptoe around track in tyres that are very rapidly going cold. They will have only just got up to temperature. They've only done 3 laps.
Oh, wow, yeah.
74 car of Peter Romeo still facing the wrong way down towards turn 1 as Sal Mas goes straight on as well towards turn 1 in the 202 Audi. He's just gone straight on through there. Let's see how Andreas Molberg
Definitely not
handles
what we
it.
want to see here.
He's okay, so's Billy Stewart. But oh my days, just chaos into turn 1. No one knew where to brake when that rain hit.
Kind of foreseen it, I think, because he immediately dipped into the pits the second the rain hit, basically. It was halfway through the parabolic and just immediately turned in. Zero hesitation from him.
Yeah, although it'll be interesting to see whether that ends up being the right decision.
I don't know whether that's going to gain him enough time. It'll be interesting to see, do Fran Garcia and Anders Amundsen make the move into the pit lane? They're kind of half hanging to the right. No, they're both staying out. Samuel Braxton stays out. Joris Simchik stays out. Dexter Cray staying out. So is Gordis and Elias Fernando and Dries Verhulst and Brian Ritz. Eri Fastel looks like he's going to come in. Indeed he does. Eri Fastel comes into the pits. With plus rain at 10 minutes, I'm not sure whether there's going to be enough of an advantage for enough time to make it worthwhile coming into the pit lane to put those wet tyres on. If you can keep the temperature in those slicks, I think that's the right thing to do.
Yeah, with the track temperature like this, as soon as the rain starts or stops pouring down, the track will probably dry up quite fast.
Yeah, especially with 30 cars pounding around it, it will dry up relatively quickly. Eri Fastel in the pit lane. It's fallen down a long way. Kinloch van der Spy has gone off on his wet tyres, by the way.
Yeah, I wonder if he has adjusted his in-car settings, such as traction control and ABS, to suit the weather drive style here.
Yeah, I expect that would have been
it.
Davide, it was a right turn, not a left turn, says Dario. Oh, I'm sure he was aware of that.
Kinloch van der Spy is still actually driving with what seems to be TC4 here.
Hello?
Hello?
Chez, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I've just
Hello?
muted everything. What button did I hit to do that?
Whatever
chat, made a mistake.
you hit, don't do it again.
Oh, there we go, I worked it out. I was uber smart and accidentally hit a button on my keyboard because I'm uber smart. Fran Garcia's lost a whole bunch of places here. I'm not sure what's happened there. He's had a moment somewhere.
As I said, I'm not 100% sure if I was muted or not, but Vanderspy seems to be driving with a setting of TC4 in the car.
Stanislav
And in weather
Boris
conditions like
pit
this,
lane as
that
well.
is...
Track is now reading as damp, but plus rain at 10 minutes has disappeared.
That could be interesting.
It's a weather forecast we would probably expect more from Spa, not Monza.
So now that we are not plus rain at 10 minutes, does that mean that these drivers that have decided to stay out have made the correct call?
I think so.
Oh yeah, I would be inclined to believe so as well. Yeah, I don't think anyone that's staying out is going to have the best results. I don't think anyone that's come into the pit, is going to have the best results in this race. You know, and unfortunately, coming into the pits is one of those decisions that you have to make on a whim. You know, you don't really have time to think about it that much. You've just got to say, do I think I need to come in? If you think yes, then you come in. You know, and if that turns out to be the wrong decision, well, in the long run, it might not be the wrong decision for some of these guys. You know, in the long run, it might be the correct decision to have come into the pit lane for these guys. But now, 10 minutes is minus rain. So I think the time to... Oh, it's Bruno Bataclan, I think, has just gone for a spin there. Coming out of the Ascari chicane, indeed he has always made contact with the wall. That is going to have led to some damage for Bruno Bataclan.
Billy Stewart has RTG'd, meaning that he has returned to the garage. He seems to probably have hit a wall or something.
Yeah, I would assume he's had damage. Andreas
His car
Moberg.
was spun around and then...
As Andreas Moberg is having some interesting connection. I hope that's not just me. Oh no, it's definitely me.
Moberg has gone off the track as well, it seems like. But he's back on. I don't know exactly where that happened. I just caught it on a replay.
I don't know. I had loads of yellow flags there, but I think it was just me.
As Brian Ritz has gone around at the Ascari chicane as well. He looks like he will have made some front end contact there. Let's have a look. Gets wide, gets sideways, gets on the power. And
Oh wow, that's a dangerous rejoin.
oh, is he then?
Close to taking out a few cars there.
Yeah, this is...
Stewards will not be happy about a move like that.
This race is pretty crazy. Oh, he comes steaming into the turn 1 braking zone and he's not going to make that stop. And indeed he doesn't. Whoever that was has just gone straight on. I don't even know who that was.
As Julius is currently running P8. Absolute mad lad.
But yeah, other than trying to keep up with the chaos, as Oscar Miata goes off at turn 1, I'm not sure what's happened there. Has there been contact with another driver? It looks like there may well have been. Yeah, there has. Oh, and Aston Martin has come storming in and hit him from behind. I think that's the Aston Martin of Harry Howard, I think it might have been, in that green and black.
Aston Martin, indeed it was. Harry Howard. Pit window now opening for drivers to come in and think about making their pit stops for the race.
But changing onto new dry tyres before the track has got dry is not going to be the move to make. I wouldn't expect.
No. I would probably wait out the pit window either until you don't have enough fuel or basically till you only have a minute left. I would try to drag that car as long as it just possibly could.
Track is now reading as wet rather than damp. That's interesting. Is this when drivers who pitted
start being able to make enough time back for it to be worth it? I
kind of doubt it.
Don't think so.
I mean, they would need to be running far, far faster than everyone else. Which, I mean... No, the leaders are still running faster than anyone on the wet tyres. Kinloch van der Spy equalled the leaders last time, and I think he's on the wet tyres.
If I'm not mistaken.
As Harry Howard dives right into the pits here, followed by Stephen Face as well. Wonder if they're trying to... The track is back up to damp, so I wonder if they're going for the dry tyres.
Yeah, maybe going for almost an undercut onto that dry tyre strategy again.
Yeah, Brian Ritz is also in the pits now. I wonder if this is probably the strat to go. Moberg is sitting stationary in the pits. I think he's been there for quite a lot of time now. As we also have Bruno Battaglin going
lots
in
of people
for
coming to the
a
pit lane now.
stop there.
I expect coming in for dry tyres. And looking at, God, the lead that Callum Jones has at the moment is just massive. Almost 9 seconds he is in the lead. Anders Amundsen still leading his teammate.
Sam Braxted. I expect those guys won't have too much of a fight across the rest of this race, as they'll look to bring home a good team result for Big Brain rather than fight each other and possibly cause each other issues.
As George Stevens and Peter Romeo seem to have had a bit of contact here, it seems like. Trying to lap a GT4 car. I wonder if the GT4 car has been involved here.
Oh, and George Stevens
Don't
just
think he
drifting
has.
off at Lesmo 1.
I'm not sure if he's got maybe some damage there that he's going to have to come in and
He
think about
was in a
repairing.
contact. Oh, wow. Yeah. And then unfortunately just tags Peter Romeo there. Doesn't seem like too much on Romeo's car. They're both on track again in a synchronized, beautiful dance move. So hopefully not too bad for any of the drivers involved.
Indeed, indeed. Hopefully not too bad at all.
I don't know if it's just me, but I haven't seen a single penalty roll in yet.
No, which I have a funny feeling probably means that, oh dear. Whoa. Did the server just have a massive glitch for you?
Nope. Server is fine for me.
I think I'm having some internet troubles because my my game just like momentarily glitched everyone back to the pit lane. Which, as you know, isn't ideal.
Definitely not. But that would be quite a good way to handle a red flag situation if you could just instantly teleport every single car back to the pits.
I mean, yeah, it would be handy. I'm not entirely sure how it would work. It would take a lot of server stress to do that, I would expect.
Slash red flag and everybody just gets returned to the pits. Kunos, if you ever need me, you can find me. I'm not hard to find. I'm a man with many ideas. The penalties have started to roll in now. 5-second penalty to Goris and a 5-second penalty to Howard. Let's take a look at the reasons. Nothing posted as of yet in the penalty outcomes channel. And a 20-second penalty for Peter Romeo here. He must have done something very naughty.
I don't know if that was maybe for some of the stuff that happened down at turn 1 when it hit the wet.
It could well be.
Track is still damp, and these guys at the front still not coming into the pit lane. That doesn't surprise me. I expect they'll leave their pits until later on. Frank Garcia has managed to work his way back into this train again with a 1:47.9 as his best lap.
Simčić and Face and Mendelesi have also been hit with 5-second penalties each. Now Simčić has gone up to a 10-second penalty. As yeah, the penalties are rolling in now. Harry Howard has been struck with a drive. Are drive-throughs given by the game for track limits?
Yeah, they're given by the game for track limits, so that's not a steward given penalty. That will be a game given penalty for that one.
Yeah, it would take quite a lot for the penalties to dish out a drive-through penalty.
I don't even know if it's a possibility using the ACC admin system to be able to give a drive-through penalty.
/DT.
Oh,
I think you can do
clearly
it.
It is then. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if it is possible, but I don't know if it would be something that we would consider doing unless you had seriously
Breach the rules. Lots of penalties coming through. 20 seconds for Peter Romeo, 5 seconds for George Stevens, 10 seconds for Simčić, 5 seconds for Mendelesi, 5 seconds for Stephen Face, and 5 seconds for Brian Ritz as well. Not brilliant for those guys. Drive through for Harry Howard. Oh, that will have been given by the game. I'm assuming that will be for the rather large punt that he had at turn 1, where he basically just didn't brake in time and drove into the back of another driver.
And just to clarify, a drive-through is something that a steward can actually give through the in-server commands. Just to clear that up.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it is definitely a very, very, very last resort for our stewards to use that, as we have one car causing a yellow flag, and that would be Harry Howard. Let's see what happened to him. He is
that's
just off the
a
track.
lot of front-end damage. That bumper is hanging very low. He's gone all the way off at the parabolica
and hit the wall, the retaining wall. At the back there, that is big damage for him.
He has suspension damage, he cannot steer that car well at all. Because the penalties are really racking up the field here. Also seems like the reasons for the penalties are soon to be handed out, if you want me to take a look at that.
That would be handy, yes. In fact, I'm just going to have to head off quickly, unfortunately. Duty calls,
and I've had too much to drink before starting this commentary, so I will
Absolutely.
be back in just a second.
Good luck. As I can see a message being typed in the penalty outcomes channel here, just waiting for that to go through. In the meantime, I have absolutely no idea what car I've been left with here on stream. It seems that I am currently through Ollie's stream here watching Harry Howard. Let's see if I can find him for myself here. There he is. Currently leaving the pits. Stop the car, it seems. And he has left the entire server. That is unfortunate, as Julius Jamson has gone off track. Not something that you can see on your end over there, as we are currently following P2 Brackstad and his battle with P1 Amundsen, both the BBR cars here. Getting closer and closer to some traffic here, making their way through. Will Julius leave them space? Sure looks like he is. As Eric Berg is also just about to be lapped here, he is. Wonder if Julius Jansen will go for it as well. He does go for it. As the penalties have now rolled in, at least a few of them. There's a 5-second penalty for car 24. Car 24. Let's see if we can find car 24. My educated guess would be that car 24 is probably Harry Howard, as I cannot see him in the server anymore. He has been awarded a 5-second penalty for a late break running into the rear of car 666. Car 355 has been awarded a 5-second penalty for causing a collision with car 22, causing car 22 to hit another car. There's also a 5-second penalty to car 27 for misjudging his braking in the greasy and slick conditions here, resulting in a collision. Also, a 20-second penalty to car 74 for causing a severe collision involving multiple cars. There's a 5-second penalty to car 28 for not holding brakes after a collision. A 10-second penalty to car 221 for causing a collision with car 666. There's a 5-second penalty to car 6 for driving straight into the rear of car 9 into the chicane after lifting off brakes. There's a 10-second penalty to car 24 for causing a collision into the rear of car 25. And there's a 5-second penalty to car 100 for causing a collision with car 74. We are now up to speed with the penalties here, but I will keep an extra eye out to see if anything evolves. Yeah, 5-second penalty for Vettel, and make that a 10-second penalty for Ocon as well while we're at it. Hey then, I can see that you've typed over on Twitch. I must have missed the followers. I cannot seem to see them in the feed here. I wonder if I need to refresh on the moderators view maybe. Oh yes, here they are. 21 minutes ago, P20. And 20 minutes ago, Rise1. Thank you so much for the follows, guys.
Hello?
Hello?
Is Ollie alright?
He's just on a little toilet break.
Oh, toilet break. Okay, cool. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine here. A lot of penalties.
Oh, don't. It's been a bit of a nightmare. Nightmare. But as long as you're alright, I'll let you get back to it.
Yeah, I'm all good here.
Alright, cheers, man. Catch you in a bit.
Catch you. Bit of a calm few moments here, it seems like. Not much going on out there on the track as of yet. The track is up to greasy now with a ridiculous track temperature of 35 degrees and 39 degrees Celsius air temperature. That is massive. That is gonna probably warm those tires up quite well and also help dry the track up quite well as well here. Peter Romeo, the only car left with a standing penalty. Oh no, Urosimcic also has one here, it seems like. As he almost makes contact with Dries Verhulst going through the first corner. Unfortunately, not something you guys can see, but I'm just letting you know that it happened, or almost happened. As Peter Romeo is now in the pits, trying to get rid of that 20-second penalty he had. And that leaves Uros Simchik and Lucas Hannock, I think the only cars with penalties still standing. As people are starting to pit here. Samuel Braxton is one of them. I wonder if they're trying to go for the quick and cheeky dry here. Given the track is not wet anymore, it's just a bit greasy and there's a hot temperature out there. We're seeing cars from every category out here pitting. Lucas Lichten is pitting amongst with Billy Stewart. Stewart just now leaving the pits here. Ari Fasttail is advancing up to P15 here. I haven't seen him in the pits. I'm not 100% sure if he's even pitted at all. He has pitted. I've just missed that. There's only a few cars left that hasn't pitted. Amundsen, Verhulst, Potter, and Adriansen looks to be the only cars without a pit stop under the belt yet. I wonder if it's some sort of advanced strat here from Amundsen to try to basically make the car's fuel last as long as humanly possible. Nope, he is entering the pits right now. Just as I say it, he's entering the pits. Will Verhulst join him? There's quite a big difference between them. Good few 10-20 seconds here almost. As it seems as though Verhulst is... Wait, is he actually going into the pits? He is. He's going for the pit stop as well. There's a lot of people going for the pits now. I think Amundsen was one of the guys that took wets when we started to get rain out here. Yeah, in real life, hot temperature with drying conditions is the worst condition for wet tires. I 100% believe you here, Dario. So I understand why people have been going into the pits now. It's interesting to see that there aren't that many different strategies here. They're all basically just pitting at the same time. I wonder if the realization of what they're trying to do here hit them all of a sudden and they had to do something about it.
Hello again, chat. Sorry about that, that took a bit longer than I was expecting. Got a drink top up on my way as well because I'd emptied my my first one from just before we got started.
Yeah, don't empty this one up before the race is over at least. We don't need you to run for the toilet again.
I'll be fine.
Aiden popped in and saw that I think he saw on the stream that I was a bit lonely in here. So he popped by just to make sure I'm okay and ask where you were.
No, he's fine, Hayden. Don't worry about him.
I'm fine. Help me.
He's great. So, what's changed? Wow, okay, lots is the answer.
Everything.
Oh, hey, hey.
So basically, you do know you're not getting paid for the time that you're away.
What?
Wait, we're getting paid?
We ain't getting paid, mate.
Sure.
We ain't
Aw.
getting paid. Not yet, not yet. We got
Okay.
a little bit longer to go before that.
Yeah, well, yeah, we are. But we've got really good numbers, by the way, so GG's to you guys. Just as an FYI, we're all pulling our hair out down here in the comms box. Dexter is not happy with me because it rained. And I don't know where that rain come from, I'm not going to lie, because it's the same
It
weather
was
conditions
crazy.
as last week. The whole championship, the weather has been exactly the same.
This is amazing.
Adjusted anything. So
Oh, hey,
the fact that
eventually randomness 0.1 was going to give us rain. Eventually
Well,
it was going to happen. Any
Well, the
randomness
thing is-
at all.
yeah, so the clouds is like 0.2, I think, and then the rain chance is 0.15 with randomness of weather of 3. So go figure.
Just happens to be that it all lined up
Yeah,
at,
it's
at the
just,
worst track that it could have chosen to line up at.
yeah, the ACC.
And when we
got-
saw,
just
like, when we saw the rain, like, I knew immediately we would have trouble.
And then
Takes
what
like
immediately
20
happened at turn 1?
seconds. Yeah, 20 seconds later, the biggest pileup I've ever seen outside of a public lobby.
turn one, some poor car was on its side and everything.
Yeah, there was one of the Ferraris got launched.
BRTs, I think it was.
Yeah, I shouldn't laugh, but one car was on its side at one stage. By the way, you are missing followers over on
I have gone through them, unless... Yeah.
One about 30 minutes ago. I'm pretty sure you touched upon it. But keep up the good work. We will try and not. Well, hopefully there'll be some stewards left by the time the race finishes in 20 odd minutes time, wherever it is.
Yeah, 15 minutes, yeah.
15 minutes. So
Yellow flag momentarily. That
I'll
is
leave
for... Who's that for?
Sal Mass in the
It
Audi
is, yeah, the
GT4.
202 GT4. Oh, God.
Whoa. Just narrowly avoiding other cars here. He has a stop-go 30. I wonder for what. Let's take a look in the penalty outcome here if you want me to do that for you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So, there's a 5-second penalty to car 78. That is not Salmas, but that is for cutting the pit lane. However, I do think that this stop-go 30, along with the drive-through for car 27, Gories, are from the game itself. So most likely Salmas has ran a
sped in
bit
the
too
pit
fast
lane,
through
yeah.
the pits. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
stuck at
Gories
30,
has...
that's unlucky.
yeah, it really is. But it's one of those things, as Lucas Hannock, yeah, there goes his 5-second penalties for cutting the pit lane. Something that stewards have been very clear about that they do not want to see, and if you get caught doing it, that is a clear penalty.
Yeah.
As
Callum-
the track is now back up to optimum.
Yeah, it's dried out
Actually.
really quickly. The 35-degree track temperature has really sapped that moisture out of it very, very quickly. As Christian Adriansen gets past Lucas Lichten for P21 overall. That was a fight for position against that GT4.
Amundsen is doing quite a good job here trying to run away from Samuel Brackstad. I wonder if he can keep that going.
The
With
last,
the Norwegians trying to lock out the front row here
the
with
last,
the Norwegian flag.
the last lap, Samuel Braxton actually closed in on Anders Amundsen by just less than half a second.
Yep.
I'm not sure if that's a trend that's continuing this lap.
As a good few more penalties have come in to Brackstad actually gets a
Samuel
5-second
Braxton picks up
penalty.
a 5-second.
Garcia and Simsic are also getting penalized here. Garcia got a 5-second penalty for a collision with car 22. As we will see, and car 75, that would be Brackstad, got a 5-second penalty for causing a collision with car 355.
Oh, so is that when Billy Stewart returned possibly that's when Billy Stewart returned to the garage, is when that
Could
happened.
be. There's a 10-second penalty added to Simcic for causing a collision with car 666. That is Van der Spy.
Dear. Yeah, just replayed that contact between the 355 and the 75 car. Samuel Braxton just in way late on the brakes, way late on the brakes. Now let's review what happened between the 223 and the 22 car. This is coming down towards turn 1, the 22 car. Oh, Fran Garcia, that is a woeful dive. I'm surprised he's not been awarded more than 5 seconds for that. That was horrendous. I'm surprised that isn't a 10-second penalty. I'm surprised that isn't a 10-second penalty. That was a horrifically misjudged dive bomb there from Fran Garcia, a man who is normally very clean. Just not getting it right there whilst trying to lap the GT4 car. Unfortunately, it is a relatively easy mistake to make. It's one that we've all made before, trying to lap cars, or even just trying to overtake cars. Sometimes you just get the braking zone wrong.
I have never made a mistake in my life.
Okay, Ches.
So I am not 100% sure what you're talking about, but you speak for yourself here. As I have in fact made probably all of the mistakes you could ever do in the beginning stages of a sim racing career.
Anyways, let's go back to the live timing and see what's actually happening in the race, shall we? So Anders Amundsen just spreading his gap a little bit more at the front of the field now, back up to 3.4 seconds. Gained a couple of tenths this lap, as there's not really much on-track battling at the moment. Kinloch van der Spy is about to catch up to Callum Jones. This might be a move into turn 1 as the closing speed of the GT3. There he is. And it will be a move into turn 1 with relative ease for Kinloch van der Spy, as he goes straight on at turn 1, not with relative ease for Kinloch van der Spy.
Commentator's curse strikes again.
Indeed.
Oh. It seems as though one of the Belgian racing team cars, I think that may have been Stephen Faye's, I saw that he was a tiny bit over the racing, the pit exit lane here, going onto the racing line. So I wonder if there will be a penalty for that and if the stewards picked up on it.
Possibly. I'm trying to see who is it that's going very slowly through Ascari. It was Bruno Battiglin. He looks like he's got back up to racing speed now. It looks like that car had some crabbing issues, but it looks like it sorted itself out. Does he come to the pit lane? No, he stays out. So I think that solves that debacle.
It's less than 10 minutes left of the race, and I can tell you that this has really gone flying.
Yeah, it
by
has
us now.
absolutely flown by. As Callum Jones has over a 20-second lead at the head of the GT4 field. That is just remarkable.
Yeah, I saw some people complaining about the Ginetta being way overpowered with
Alex
this BOP that we have here.
Alex van der Broek has had a problem coming out of Ascari and has lost a position. What's happened there? So he's gone off through the middle of the Ascari chicane and has then been overtaken by Oscar Miazza. That drops Alex van der Broek back down to P9 as it stands. And at the moment, Joros Simchik is safe as two cars go off track in the background of Joros Simchik there. I'm not sure who those were. It was the... Was it the triple... Is there a 666 car? I think it was. I think it was Kinloch van der Spy.
Yeah. 666 would
Brian
be
Ritz
Kinloch van der
both went
Spy.
off at the turn 1 chicane. Brian Ritz almost sticks his nose in for a move there on the 202 GT4, thinks better of it, very sensibly.
Yeah, he's going for it here instead and makes easy work of it.
And so
That
does
Audi is
Kinlock.
not giving up any places.
Yeah, the 202 car realising that it's just safer for him to stay out of the GT3 car's way in that particular instance. And Anders Amundsen's still running in the 1 minute 47s. Just insane pace from him, gaining again at 5/10 on Samuel Braxton that last time out. But not a lot of movement up and down the grid. Elias Fernando didn't have a great lap last time out. He's managed to get back on pace this lap, but that last lap was 1 minute 50 from him. Not ideal. Back to a 1 minute 48.4 now. In fact, runs his best lap of the race after a lap that was quite a few seconds off. And Kinlock van der Spy may be looking to get past Brian Ritz here. He's going to have the better exit out of the Parabolica. Brian Ritz has drifted wide out all the way onto the AstroTurf, and Kinlock van der Spy is going to get that move done easily. But is Brian Ritz going to be able to sit in that toe and get back to him? Kinlock van der Spy breaking the toe very drastically. In fact, that could be called weaving, Kinlock. You might want to watch out there.
It's only an issue if it's reported or the stewards see it.
As Brian Ritz, God, he's late on the brakes there. That shows you the braking
he's really
capabilities of
trying
that
to get his way
Ferrari,
past
doesn't
him.
he? So I think Oscar Miazza is going to be able to stay ahead pretty much no matter what of Alex van den Broek. It's going to be a game of whether Julius can possibly get up to the back of Alex van den Broek. I don't think he
Also,
might be able to.
car 666, Kinlock van der Spy has been given 2 separate 5-second penalties for causing collisions with car 355 and car 6.
Yeah, so
Car
car
6
6 is
being
Brian
Brian
Ritz,
Ritz.
so that's possibly when they went off at turn 1. Yellow flags. Oh, that's Stephen Faze. He's had a massive one through the exit of Ascari. That's a weird place. Has he gone very wide? I expect he's gone really wide on the exit, and the bumps have caused him to drop it. Let's have a look. Indeed. Oh no, he's got loose very early. Tank slapper, massive contact with the wall. That's going to be a meatball flag for sure, and that may well be Stephen Faze out of this race with only 5 minutes to go. Somehow that car looks. It's not going in a straight line, actually, is it? No, not at all.
No,
that rear wing is very
definitely
bent.
not.
And this is going to be into the
wow.
pit lane
Oh,
for
wow.
Stephen Faze.
That is race ending, unfortunately.
Yeah, that is race ending, unfortunately, for the Belgium racing team driver. Very, very
In a
unfortunate for him.
situation like this, where basically you probably have more than 5 seconds worth of 5 minutes worth of damage, would you probably just sit it out, or do you want to get it repaired and try to get back out if you have less than 5 minutes of damage to repair?
Yeah, that's going to be far more than 5 minutes. The speed that he went into that barrier, he's probably looking at least 10 minutes of repairs, which for ACC, as most people know, is a relatively high amount. But that would have been a meatball. That was front and rear suspension broken, and the rear wing and front bodywork. So that's going to be a big repair job.
Joshua Higginson. Callum is doing wonderful. He is currently, as it seems, just running away with this in the GT4 category.
Yeah, he's 23 seconds ahead of the next man. His fastest lap is 1.2 seconds faster than anyone else in the GT4 field. Possibly the GT4 bop not quite as effective here from pit skill.
Definitely not, by the looks of it.
But I think we are going to have all but possibly one car finish this race from those that started. Obviously, Stephen Faze will be in the pit lane, unfortunately. I expect he'll finish the race in the pit lane.
Harry Howard did leave the entire server earlier on when you were on your little break.
Yeah, clearly didn't agree with the drive-through penalty he was given, even though it was, at the end of the day, the right decision for the stewards to make to hand him that penalty. And rather disappointingly, even with the BOP that we've got here, the McLaren is still, well, it's still 6 out of the top 8 are McLarens still, and the other 2 are Ferraris. disappointing that that even with all the track data that QNOS has, they're still finding it difficult to create a BOP that makes the cars closer to equal across every track at the moment. And I think,
as Hayden says, yeah, it's annoying we couldn't get the LFM BOP.
yeah, the LFM BOP would have been really great, but they are now back to they've now started releasing it weekly, which means that it's only the tracks that they have. It's only the tracks that they're running.
Moberg seems to have gone off for some reason. He had a bit of a yellow flag there for a second, as he almost makes contact with George Stevens, and that puts him into the gravel, and then he puts himself into the wall, unfortunately.
Yeah, massive through Ascari there for Andreas Moberg. But he gets it rolling again. He will finish this race, I expect. I don't think he'll need to come into the pit lane. We'll wait and see.
There's a drive-through for Stalmas here in the 202 Audi.
I don't know if that is a given drive-through or not.
Does not look like it. I cannot see anything about it in the penalty outcomes.
Davide Mandalesi has overtaken Julius for P10 overall. Davide Mandalesi, the number 71 VM technology car, overtaking our co-commentator Julius, who I think might still be on his dry tyres from the beginning of the race, but it will be P11 for Julius unless he... I think we might see 2 more laps here, actually. I think Anders Amundsen...
I think so as well.
Anders Amundsen is definitely going to cross the line in less than a minute. So, oh, Julius Jamson. Julius off down at the Parabolica, and is he going back to the pit lane? He's not got enough fuel. He's been massively fuel saving, that's why he's been slow, and now back to the pit lane, he's miscalculated.
Yeah, he just basically just steered to the left.
He's left the server, I believe.
That is unfortunate.
That is unfortunate for Julius. Really strong showing from him, seeing that he hadn't driven the car before. Whoa, Brian Ritz going straight on at turn 1. Storming through there. Or was it? No, it was Stephen Face who's managed to get back out of the pit lane. Stanislaw Goris has had a moment coming out of turn 2 on the power there, the Lamborghini man getting sideways.
Just overshot.
No, there were tyre burnout marks. There, I think he got sideways on the power.
Julius was fuel. It was a fuel issue for Julius here, it seems. As Salmas has now got a 30-second stop-go penalty, he cannot keep that car under the speed limit in the pits, it seems like. I think this is his second stop-go 30.
Possibly.
For speeding in the pits this race.
I'm not too sure.
Stephen Face has to drive through.
There we go, 0 seconds on the clock. So it is now the final lap. Anders Amundsen is just coming down towards the Ascari chicane, about to enter Sector 3 for the final time here in Monza, in what has been a completely chaotic race. The only race this season so far, the only race this year so far that has had rain. None of the Rookie Wednesday has.
Yeah.
The only race so far this year that has had rain. And it had to be multi-class, and it had to be at Monza, because where else and why else would it be? And
it had to be mid-race as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it couldn't start in the wet, could it? Of course not. That would be too easy for this game. Anyway, Anders Amundsen rounds the final corner, rounds the Parabolica for the final time in the Big Brain Racing McLaren 720S GT3 Evo to take the win. He's going to be followed by Samuel Braxton, who does have a 5-second penalty, but that isn't going to change his finishing position. And neither is it going to change the finishing position of Fran Garcia, who's going to cross the line to come P3 overall. Then it's going to be Dexter Gray in the Gwent Police number 1 Ferrari 296 GT3 to cross the line in P4. A good result for him. And then it's back to the McLarens again. Elias Fernando started P12. Not a great qualifying for him, but he finishes P5 in the number 23 McLaren. Rather successful little comeback race for him as Dries Verhulst crosses the line to finish P6 after starting P5 overall. Then we got Joris Simchik. He's coming.
Face.
Yeah.
Steve Face did manage to sort his
he did manage to get back out of the pit lane. Yeah. So Joris Simchik comes around the final corner. He's got 10 seconds of penalties. He's going to cross the line in P7. So now it's all down to Oscar Miazza behind him. Can he cross the line with that gap being less than 10 seconds? I think he'll be able to. I'm not going to be entirely sure until he has crossed the line and it's settled down. I think he will have managed to get ahead of Simchick just. Alex Vandenbroek is going to cross the line in P9 overall, with Davide Mandalesi crossing the line in P10, followed by Ari Fasten in P11. Then it's Peter Romeo in P12 with Bruno Battiglin in P13. George Stevens comes to P14 with Kinloch van der Spy in P16. Everything's going crazy now. Everyone started moving around. People have started leaving the session, so it's messing me up. I will now wait until we have got everyone across the line so that I can go back and have it all make sense in my head. Because it doesn't make sense anymore. Still waiting just on Callum Jones now to cross the line. Ironically, the leader of the GT4 class is the last man to take the checker flag. But that is going to be everyone. Right, let's return to garage and we'll have a proper rundown of what happened, shall we? So where did we get to? We got to... This still isn't right. I don't know, because people are leaving the server. I'm very confused now. No, I don't have a clue who finished where, to be quite honest with you. Everyone left the server too quickly.
I think we'll have to wait for the final results here, be able to properly calculate it. But it looks like Amundsen got with the win here.
Yeah, definitely Amundsen with the win for sure. I'm just copying the interview waiting room. There we go. Right, and we're now going to move on to our interviews for this race. We are going to first talk to one of our co-commentators who is going to be gutted, rather understandably, that he unfortunately didn't manage to make it to the end of the race. The first man that we're going to be talking to is Julius Jamson. He had a brilliant race in that Lexus, a man who drove in for the first time in VR less than an hour before the race started, had never driven the Lexus before, had never driven the Lexus at Monza before, and was running P10 before it seemed like he ran out of fuel. Is that what happened there, Julius?
Yeah, I mean, there's only one word that could describe it, and it's the naughty one, so I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I mean, I just miscalculated it because the rain, I stayed out when it started raining. I heard Hayden coming and say this is, but I mean, that was brilliant. I just honestly, I was smiling the whole race. When the rain started, I was sliding all over the place. So that's why I miscalculated the pit stop, because the fuel was higher in the rain part, so I don't know what I did, but I ran engine mode 5 for the last 3 or 4 laps. I lost around, Mandalesi was 16 seconds behind, and then I just ran out of fuel in the exit of the Ascari and he got me, and yeah.
Yeah, it was just a crazy race. None of us saw the rain coming at all. Just we joined into the server and I thought, God, it's pretty dark, you know. And then it was, and then suddenly I looked up at the weather tab and it was rain at 10 and then plus rain at 10, and I was like, oh God, here we go. What is going to happen? It's all about to get crazy, and then it very much did. But yeah, massively, massively unfortunate for you to run out of fuel so close to the end there. Yeah, we were gutted for you in the commentary box.
Yeah, my target was in the top 10, and basically without it I would have achieved it, so there's still some positive things to take. And the thing that happened before the race was like hour before the race. I didn't know I was going to race, but I have run VR many times before, but not racing it. But it was just 60 minutes before the race started, and I was like, Okay, yeah, I mean, and basically all my preparation was done in 60 minutes time, and that's best I could do. I'm so sweaty, man. This race, man, it was amazing. But yeah, head up, and hopefully I'm there next week too. So
Yeah, absolutely. Anything from you, Ches, before Julius goes?
Good to see you back on track.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, it's been a long time since November. I haven't raced, so I guess it was a good. The pace was okay, but I mean, I missed the quali. I was 3/10 slower than in practice because I had one lap. I was 7/10, but it was invalidated in the Ascari, so yeah.
Yeah, unlucky for sure. I'm hoping for you that next week you have a little bit better luck. Maybe without the rain, it can go a little bit better for you. Yeah, absolutely.
For me, it can rain more often.
Yeah, you
It
like
was
the rain,
fun.
do you? Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, unfortunate
Not
for you.
maybe, but it was fun. It should happen more often. I mean, it created some unexpected things to the race, and I was there coming in when we had the turn one massive incident. I was there. I was braking 50 meters earlier than I usually would, and that was what the trick there. And I made the corner and watch other people flying there. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, we hope that next week you have a better result. Very unfortunate for you this evening, but the pace was there, and that's the first step down the road. So I'm sure that next week it'll
Good
come back
job
to
from you too. It was nice to listen while racing, you too. So, yeah.
Yeah, thank you, mate. Have a
Bye.
good one.
Yeah, bye.
Oh wow, we've got a queue of people waiting to talk to us. Let's move on to the man who actually no. We'll start. Where should we start? Let's start with our GT4. Let's start with our GT4 winner, shall we? A man who is soon to be racing under the official TOGA Sim Racing Esports banner. Certain Mr. Callum Jones, who decided that he'd had enough of only winning races by 10 seconds, so decided he'd win the race by 25 instead. How was that for you, mate?
Obviously, very good. It was a big surprise to find out how quick the Ginetta was at Monza, honestly. Considering the fact that I was hitting the limiter in sixth 4 times through the lap. So, yeah, very happy. And the rain was a surprise as well, but a pleasant one. I do like the rain.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the rain caught everyone off guard. It definitely caught myself and Chaz off guard. I remember I looked up at the weather prompt, and it was suddenly reading rain at 10 and then plus rain at 10, and me and Chaz were just like, no, why at Monza of all places? And then the inevitable chaos happened.
Yeah. The problem for me with the rain was I was running ABS 1, and I locked the rears up a couple of times, and I had to do about 32 minutes of the race on an orange engine.
Oh, wow, that is mental.
Ouch.
Yeah. So I had to manage quite a lot through that.
I dread to think how much you would have won the race by if you'd had a healthy engine the whole time. That is pretty crazy.
It didn't seem to affect the performance too much. So yeah, I was quite lucky with that.
No, yeah, absolutely. Anything from you, Ches?
No, not that I can think of. You've covered all the bases here.
Yeah, well, Callum, I mean, you are far and away the GT4 leader so far in the Multiclass Championship. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if you've got it wrapped up already. So, yeah, massive congratulations for you, and I'm sure that next week we'll be talking to you again. So, yeah, massive congratulations, and we'll see you this time next week.
Indeed. Thanks guys for commentating, and yeah, look forward to watching it back.
Yeah, of course. Right, who do you want next then, Ches? We've got a queue.
Let's... okay. 1, 2, 3, this guy.
The head steward.
Hi.
Who has been aggressively banging his head off a desk for the last 50 minutes after having seen
I
the
was
rain
Sterling.
coming up. Oh no, you weren't. You were racing, weren't you?
Yeah,
Well,
racy.
the other
Could
stewards
still
have
bang
been
his head in a desk.
the other stewards have been banging their heads off their desks. I can guarantee you that much. They were not happy when they saw the rain coming.
I was, no, actually, no. Hayden was laughing. He was happy.
I think.
Happy for my suffering.
Yeah. Oh, was it suffering for you in the
Typical
wet? Were you not,
behavior.
did you not enjoy it?
Well, I haven't practiced for the wet in a while. Last time I did wet at Monza was probably 4 or 5 months ago. So it was like, oh crap, where am I breaking points? I don't know where I'm breaking in the wet. And obviously, the track went to greasy to damp to wet, and the breaking point kept changing. So I'd be like, I'll go down lap or two, like, right, that's the breaking point. Nope, that's wrong now. Okay. Next lap wheeler. And it just constantly kept changing.
Go on, Ches. You can take the lead on this one.
So the rain. The rain. Obviously, you managed quite well in the end. Your first initial reaction to the rain, what was it?
Help me, please.
That's exactly what
That
we
is
thought.
Probably. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, seriously,
It
we
was
saw the rain
mental.
come, and I think me and Ches both said it was like that. Oh God, what's the
Synchronized. Oh no.
It was like that Madagascar gif. Chaos. Kaboom. Yes,
Chaos.
Rico. Kaboom. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just
Yeah.
suddenly there was a car on its roof at turn 1, and God, it was just mental. I don't know how everyone managed to avoid all of the utter chaos that happened down at turn 1, because at one point there was about 7 cars off down there between the two classes. It was nuts.
What I couldn't understand is I had Elias behind me in the Macca, and he just had so much grip. I thought he was on wet. He was like, I would go into a Ascari and he'd gain 3/10 on me easily because I just had no grip.
Maybe he ran a higher TC than you did.
I was on TC9.
Oh well,
I
probably not.
I was the only Ferrari in the top 5.
Yeah, well, that's probably not the issue then.
I think it is a good issue, I guess.
Well, a massive
Could be,
congratulations to you. I'm sure it's going to be fun reviewing the various racing incident tickets that I'm sure are about to be opened within the next 15 minutes. I have a funny feeling it may end up being me and you reviewing the majority of them. So,
Is it me and you, or you and Ches?
no, me and you, as in me and you, Dexter.
Okay.
So yeah, that'll be interesting for sure. But a massive congratulations on the result today, with the the only non-Macca in the top 5.
Yeah, P4 it was, I think. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, P4, yeah, overall, yeah, absolutely. A massive result for you in the Ferrari after what was a crazy race at Monza. I'm sure we'll probably end up talking to you this time next week as well, after Catalonia.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see if I die or not.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, have a good one, mate. It was nice to talk to you.
Right. See you.
Should we talk to Davide now?
Absolutely. Bring
Go
him
on.
in.
We'll talk to Davide. Hello, Mr. Davide.
Hello, guys.
Well,
Good evening.
I think to sum that race up in one word for you, what would it be?
I will be saying chaos.
Yeah, that does not surprise me at all.
Yeah.
With more words, I would say emotional damage. But yeah, I don't know if you saw it, but at some point I had a really big crush, and it was actually my dear friend Peter. I was surprised by it because our relationship. We had such great fights, and this was gonna be one of those fights. But unfortunately, he already told me he apologized and such. But he was looking for the wipers. And he turned a little bit into me, so it all fell apart pretty quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the rain was just completely unexpected. Literally came out of nowhere. Was that? Did you find that the wet was good for your race in the end, or did it, or did it just mess things up for you more than before?
I mean, I saw the rain coming since the beginning of the race, before the start of the race actually, when I was on the grid, and so I tweaked up a little the setup for making it a little bit more stable, but ultimately the rain, we could say, ruined my race, because if it wasn't because of that really bad timing of the rain coming when I was coming on the straight, I was almost in the braking zone of the first turn, so there was the big accident. So if it wasn't for the rain, I would have been fine, I guess. Who knows? Maybe I would have been involved in another crash, but that's impossible to know, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, a massive congratulations on the P10 overall. I'm sure
Thank
that
you.
we will see you this time. I'm sure that we will see you this time next week after what will hopefully be another successful race at Catalonia. A massive congratulations to you, mate.
Let's hope so. If I don't have like 50 seconds of damage again, I'll try my best to get even farther into the finishing positions.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a good one, mate.
Thank you. Good night.
Yeah, see you in a bit. Right then, I guess Elias Fernando is next.
Go for it.
Yeah, wonderful. You can take the lead on this one as we bring Elias Fernando into the comms box.
Hi, Elias.
I
How was the race?
dramatic.
Yeah, to say the very least. What was your first reaction when you saw rain on the radar?
At the start of the race, I saw the radar and I saw 10 minutes until the rain. I was like, oh shit. And because I've driven in the rain 2 races before, and so this was my 3rd time, and I just really didn't know what to do. And I just let's see what the guys in front of me do, and try to do the same as them. And it worked. I just stayed out and pitted when my tank emptied. So, yeah.
Yeah, you did well to adapt in the rain. I heard from one of the other drivers you apparently had quite a lot more grip than the Ferrari.
I was a lot faster than him, but every time I passed him, I lost control and he passed me again, like 3 times. So, yeah, every time.
Yeah, eventful race to say the very least. Are you looking forward for next round?
Yeah, I do, but the thing is that we're going to have on my school, we're going to have a sleepover, and we are going to bring our pieces and stuff with my class.
Bring the rig.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I decided I can maybe take with me all the GNI 20 wheel and try to drive from the school. So we'll see how that goes.
Ollie, I think that you and I have to commentate that race as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anything where there's kind of chaos going on, I'm quite happy to commentate on. As long as there's plenty of action for us to keep up with, I'm very happy.
Yeah, it was fun having you on track. You did amazingly well in the rain. Ollie, anything you want to add?
No, just a massive congratulations, and I hope that we'll be speaking to you after a good race in Catalonia next week.
Thank you.
Have a good one. See you in a bit.
See you.
And well, the last man that's left to interview is a certain Mr. Samuel Braxted from the Big Brain Racing team. obviously the Big Brain Racing team had a 1-2 lockout in both in the race this evening, as Anders Amundsen
Some
and
could
Sammy
call it
Braxted. Go on.
Some could call it a big brain move.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant! I'll let you have that one. Samuel, how was that race for you, mate?
It was amazing.
I think
It was really fun.
obviously you and Anders managed to get past Fran Garcia relatively early on in the race, and you kind of just steadily built a gap. I think it was Fran Garcia made a slight mistake. Fran Garcia made a slight mistake, and you and Anders both managed to get past him at the same time. And then it was just managing that gap. You just managed to keep the you just managed to keep that gap open, and then you managed to just extend it up until the pit stops and through the rain, which very much came out of nowhere. How did you handle the rain? Was it a surprise for you? Did you find it a little bit sketchy, or was it kind of okay?
Like, it came as a surprise, but I managed to handle it great.
Yeah, absolutely. You and Anders both managed to handle the rain really, really well compared to some drivers. There was a lot of chaos down at turn 1 on that first lap where it started raining. Thankfully, you guys were well clear of that and were already coming through Curva Grande before it really had a chance to start. But it was very, very messy behind you. A lot of chaos for sure.
Yeah, in Norway we only race in those conditions.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking to Catalonia next week, do you think it's going to be another opportunity for you to make another lockout on the grid, or do you think that maybe one of you might not quite have the pace around Barcelona to keep it together next weekend?
I'm not sure, because I've never driven the McLaren around Barcelona, but I'll see what's gonna happen. But I think I'm gonna keep a strong pace.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I hope that next weekend's race at Catalonia goes well for you, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again at the end of next weekend as well, after what I'm hoping will be another successful race for you at Barcelona. So congratulations on tonight, and we'll see you next week, I'm sure.
Yeah, thanks.
Have a good one, mate, in a bit.
Yeah, see you.
Right, well, as I'm sure everyone on the stream can hear, I'm relatively tired. This has been utterly mental. I'd like to thank Ches for picking up my slack this evening. Unfortunately, I am rather tired, but hey, we've got to power through it, and the chaos this evening has managed to keep us relatively mentally sharp, at least, as the chaos and the rain around Monza has thrown up one of the craziest races that I think I've ever seen here in Toga. Would you agree with me there, Chaz?
Definitely. It's been a few hectic hours now. I think we're closing up at, is it 2 hours? 2 hours now, maybe?
2
roughly?
hours and 15 minutes since the stream went live, yeah.
Yeah, and it's been hectic.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a completely crazy race. Next week, I don't think it's... Is it us on the multi-class next week? I'm not entirely sure if it is. Hayden's joined us in the chat, even though we've not finished yet. What's Hayden here to say?
No. I'm just here to say thank you for you guys doing the commentary. Who loves the raid?
Dude, seriously.
Evil Hayden.
You're like the evil puppet master.
His villain arc.
Honestly, the weather settings have not changed the whole championship, so please don't at me in the comments anywhere, shape or form. It's been the same weather preset from the get-go. It's just happened to be the worst track. It just happened
to be that everything came together and the maths made it do the rain at Monza, which was brilliantly chaotic, as we would have expected it to be.
Yes, 100%. I was just popping in because I know you guys want to go. You've been streaming for a long time. You've done a fantastic job, as always. I just wanted to say thank you for your dedication this evening. You guys are legends, as always. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks a lot, mate.
I'll let you go. I'll let you end up the stream. Oh, and thanks to the stewards as well for being patient with all those contact. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I'll let you guys go. Legends, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Hayden. Have a good one.
Catch you in a bit. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, so that is going to bring to the end our stream this evening. If you have enjoyed what you've seen on either platform, on YouTube or on Twitch, make sure to join us at our Discord. The link is in the bio of both the YouTube and the Twitch channel, where you can join us here at TOGA Motorsports for more brilliant racing like you've seen this evening. I mean, it has been completely chaotic, but it has been thoroughly enjoyable. Next week we are at Barcelona, Catalonia. Although before that, we have got the start of the Mini Endurance Championship, which is starting this Saturday. Make sure not to miss that. I believe it is going to be Mac and Zeta commentating on that one for the first round, which will go live at about 2:15, GMT in the afternoon on both the YouTube and the Twitch channels. So make sure to tune in for that. For now, that is going to be all from us. I've been Ollie. And he's been Chaz. You've been absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much for joining me in the comms box this evening, Chaz. I hope you have a good rest of your evening.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, it's always a pleasure.
Yeah,
and
you
to everyone
too, mate.
who has watched through to the end, thank you very much for being here with us, and we will see you next time. Have a good rest of your evenings, or afternoons, or mornings, wherever you are watching us from. Thanks a lot.
Bye. Yeah. I probably should. It's like 11 here, so should probably head out then. I'm gonna head out to the stewards and talk to them for a bit.
So, what's your...
Commentators
An argument.
I did a 10:15 on the phone actually. Is that right? Yeah, I don't have to look at it. It's easy if you don't want to. Basically, Dexter's just...
We've already said you're stupid.
He's stupid, not you things. What? I think we can still hear you on the outro. Are we still live? Yes, they can. Yeah, we can still hear me. Hi! Hi! Bye everyone! Ollie can't hear me.